Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fund, and links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Koei Tecmo Europe, publisher of Neo 2, the complete edition, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for CDRomatron, running Crash Mind Over Mutant. Take it away.
Hi there, everyone. Just to say quickly, huge thanks to the DMC runner who filled in just before me. I was having a few capture card issues this morning, but not to delay, let's get into here. Just one thing you guys need to know before the run, though, is I'm going to be playing with two controllers. The co-op mechanic in this game is extremely broken, and I'm just myself here. So let's hop in. Okay, and we'll be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is a very front-heavy run to commentate. There's going to be a lot you guys are going to be seeing in the first 5 minutes alone. A lot of that is related to that extremely broken two-player mechanic I mentioned earlier, where on player 2's controller, I'm going to spawn them in. And then on player 1, I'm going to transform into a mask. Player 2 drop out whilst I'm doing that. And then player 1 is now gone, but I'm playing as player 2, but it has the player 1 icon. This is a state we call zombie, where player 2 is now invincible and does not activate any triggers. Which makes this bit very scary because if I were to fall, I will not activate the death trigger and softlock, which is very scary at the very start of a run. It also means when I spawn player 1 back in, Crash is going to get a huge boost jump. That allows us to get really high really quickly. Coming up here is we're also going to set up one of the most major glitches in the whole run, which is death cam. Where here we're going to kill player 1 as quickly as we can. Hopefully that rat skull decides to kill Crash. There we go. Whilst player 1's dying, I'm going to drop him out, and then we're going to kill this rat skull. Because you get a cutscene for killing this rat skull, but we want to die during the cutscene. So spawn player 1 back in, remove player 2. The Crash will die during this cutscene, and if I did everything correctly, then now we can go and kill that rat skull. Doing the chin tickler combo here, just a really fast way of dealing with all the titans in the game. For anyone who hasn't seen Mind Over Mutant before, this is more of a Metroidvania style Crash game, where there's a huge open world and we kind of back and forth amongst it. So now because we set up that death cam, we now have full control during the cutscenes, and if you stash a titan during a cutscene, you gain flight for some reason. We have always known about this trick for a long time. However, it was originally only a 2-frame window you had at the start of every cutscene to pull it off without death cam, but now that we have death cam, we've learned about that. We now have full access to flight whenever that we want, wherever there's a cutscene nearby.
I smell evil and lunacy on the wind. Engine must be up ahead somewhere.
So flight will stay until I use my Titan during a cutscene, or I go through a hub transition. So my Titan still has flight in its current state. So I need to activate that cutscene for the story trigger. And we're just going to take our Titan all the way back here.
Take them out, Crash.
We're skipping a huge portion around the game, by the way. That's supposed to be much later on in Hub 1. We basically skipped the entirety of Hub 1 here. You're supposed to take like one loop around the island, do a tutorial, do another loop around the island, go to engine, and then come back and do this. However, we can just use some of these tricks to get around a lot of these invisible walls and super high things which they just thought we couldn't jump over. But we found a way. So here coming up is the very first boss of the game already, which is Coco. The story of this game is Coco and Crunch got brainwashed, Embryo's back, Cortex is still evil, all that fun Crash stuff. Unmounting here to spawn in this platform. Sometimes this platform doesn't spawn in when you're too high up. Positioning the players to crosshair. Player 2 can fire chickens, and that is going to be very useful. I just kind of position my player 2 controller here to make sure I've got access. Here we need to reflect back the basketballs. There we go, there's a Coco 1 cycle. So that was me mashing Shoot Chicken on the player 2 controller, as well as mashing Slash on the player 1 controller. That allows you to get an extremely quick kill on Coco. It is a little difficult to time, but it can definitely be done. So there's the first boss of the game. After this, we're supposed to go and find out about Nina. Because Engine gives us info that Nina is doing something. So we need to go find Nina. The whole quest for Nina is a really long one. You start off needing to go to the Ratsicle Kingdom. In the Ratsicle Kingdom, you need to go and get a TK. You need to then bring a TK back to Wampa Island. You then use that TK in Wampa Island to gain access to the desert. You gain access to the desert to gain a roller. You use the roller, bring the roller back to the Ratsicle Kingdom. Then you use the roller in the Ratsicle Kingdom to gain access to the school. As you can expect, by the estimate of this run, we're going to be doing very little of that. So we're going to be using a lot of the tricks in this game. Unfortunately, we have gone through a hub transition, so our flight is no longer in progress. We can cancel a slash using a jump, which allows us to get through those doors very quickly. A little bit of a technical jump here. There we go. Do a spin jump up here. Yeah, up here. You'll see me when I'm on Crash on foot. I'm going to be spinning. That is 360 on the right stick to spin whilst moving. Which is a bit of a pain to execute. Most of the time, though, we are going to be on a Titan, which is absolutely fine. You'll see this mojo we're picking up. We don't really care about the upgrades. They don't do much for us. We'll probably pick up one for Crash, just out of the amount of mojo we're getting. But it's far from important. So here we're going to set up another boost jump. And once this loading screen's done, and boost jump up here. And use the Titan to jump up this ledge. Very nice.
Knife 1 Crash. That power-up will double the amount of mojo you collect for a short time. So hurry up and
So
find stuff.
coming up here is we're going to activate a cutscene on one of these buttons up here. Hopefully I don't land on the button before, because I need to be on the Titan as I push the button. There we go. Gonna get onto there. Stash the Titan during the cutscene so he's got no health remaining. And then we gain flight. Fantastic. So now we're going to use this flight to clip into the school area, so not much to say as I'm going along here, so if there's anything you'd like to read, now would be a really good time.
Of course, well, I would love to talk about the fact that we are closing on a milestone. We are sitting at $29,353 raised for Alzheimer Fonden. And the next milestone is the winter 2019 total, which was $30,076. Please excuse me. So we are so close. If you folks want to get those donations in, pass up that milestone. That would be. Is there a little time to talk about prizes as well?
Ooh, please go ahead.
So we have two beautiful prizes this time around. For a minimum donation of $25. You can be entered into a drawing to win the ViewSonic Elite XG270 monitor. And for a minimum donation of $35, you'll be entered into the drawing to win the ViewSonic VX2758-2KP-MHD monitor. Both lovely, lovely monitors, and that is cumulative. So if you donate up to $25 or $35, over the course of the marathon, you will be entered into the drawing to win one of those prizes.
Thank you so much for that. So here we've got access to a roller. Roller you're supposed to get in the desert. However, we were supposed to have done the desert by now, so it spawns the roller anyway. We can use the roller to get around up here, nice and easy. Roller is going to be our main movement for the rest of the run, just because the roller is incredibly fast. Got hit by a stray icicle there, that's a little bit of a shame, but far from a major setback, we can just jump back up here. My main thing is I just want to make sure me getting hit by an icicle is just a quick respawn. The roller getting hit by an icicle is a very major mistake, and I do not want that to happen. So, here we are over at Eel Public School. There's some sort of plot here about how Nina was previously at private school and she's really annoyed that she's now at a public school. I'm sure this joke was very funny back in 2008. So here I set player 2 on the platform over there, just so I didn't actually have to solve that puzzle. And we're going to use the roller to spawn a TK up here. We only need to be high up for so long to spawn the TK. It assumes we're already on the floor, and then we can jack the TK through the floor. Taking another TK here, we need to quickly for another puzzle. I say puzzle, it's flipping a switch, however we can only do it with the TK. Okay, and now I just need to spin these. Once again, we're going to cheese this puzzle a little bit. We're going to bring Coco over onto there, and then just jump through. Oh, wrong button. There we go. So here, during Crash's spin attack, I can push the heavy attack button to increase Crash's hitbox significantly, which allows me to hit these whilst they're still in the cannon pretty much, or if I missed it, then I have a much larger hitbox to work with. I also need to get back on my roller here, because there's a cutscene, and I can stash the roller during that cutscene to gain flight on the roller. Flight on the roller is by far one of the most overpowered strategies in the whole game, and we're going to be using it for basically the whole run. It allows us to do a lot of very cheesy strats. Like that. Roller Roast also has a boost, which, as you can imagine, being able to boost really fast and also flying can break an open world game like this. Like here, all of this physics platforming, we can just, swing by it. That's fine though. That is fine. I'm just going to go over here and pick up another roller, I think. Okay. Work with that. Should be a roller down here, just gonna spawn him up here. Come on. There we go. Okay, here's a backup roller for us. Ideally our roller wouldn't get hit by an icicle, but oh well. It doesn't mean we've lost flight on it, but we were going to lose flight on purpose around here anyway, because we need to get down across this section.
These voodoo dolls will unlock special rewards.
And we're going to regain flight in a moment here anyway.
To get tons of cool stuff.
So this is going to be a long backtrack back to Wampa Island here, so if there's anything else you'd like to read at this time, this would also be a good time.
Talk to that guy, Crash. See what he knows.
Absolutely. I would really like to talk about the charity we are raising funds for right now, Alzheimer Fonden. Thanks to gifts and wills from private individuals and companies, Alzheimer Fonden was able to distribute almost 30 million Swedish crowns last year, but even still, the money is not enough to be able to support all of the important projects that lie ahead. The Alzheimer Fund could only grant about 19% of the funds applied for. So definitely your donations make a big difference. Please do get those donations in, and don't forget about all of the wonderful incentives and bid wars that we have open.
Okay, so just here, you see like just how powerful the roller is with flight. We're using a death plane there, getting a little bit of height on the roller off that little ramp there. So we want to go up above this section. 2, 3. That should be far enough to get us to the end of the section. Fantastic. And now we're back at Wumpa Village. So we're now relatively along the correct line. There is a few mandatory quests we need to do in this game to spawn certain things. For example, the door to the final level is there, it just doesn't have the trigger in yet. And that's the case with a lot of objectives in this game, where there's a lot of, although there's a lot of things we can skip, and a lot of places we can get early. For example, where we're going now, we could actually have already accessed for the whole run. However, none of the triggers were there yet. And that's kind of what's important for this run, is making sure we hit all the mandatory story triggers and just hitting as much as we need to, really. So you've seen this section done before. We did this with the zombie crash. Part of the reason we did that with zombie crash was because it would block the triggers, and there's a few tutorials there, which we managed to skip because we weren't activating any of the triggers. So you'll recognize this section from slightly earlier in the run. Now we're going to be heading over to the left. Storing the flight there again, getting a little bit of height off of those little bits of grass there. Right here, we picked up that boxing glove on purpose because that allows us to do massive damage with this Titan. And allows us to very quickly and efficiently clear out all these spikes. Just pick up a health pickup off the mat. Fantastic. So, as you can see, we're already finished mission 14. I think we've done 3 so far. This is going to take us to the desert. Well, it says back to the desert. We haven't been to the desert yet. So, welcome to the desert. We were supposed to be intrigued by this door previously. But just welcome to this door, I guess. We're not going to be in the desert too long. The desert is right next to the junkyard, which is where we're actually wanting to go right now.
Now you can spend longer before getting dizzy.
I did not put input right there. That's just physics having fun. And now here, we're getting through the junkyard. I'm coming over to the left here to activate a cutscene. Getting flight on that cutscene. Now we could use our roller to quickly get through this section. However, the enemies here are Doom Monkeys, and they have a particular attack, which the animation of it will cancel the flight. So I'm just coming down here before I start using the flight, just to make sure I'm safe. Once again, in this room, gonna be using flight, get up high really quickly, skip a lot of this room. This room has a lot of platforming challenges, and being able to do this is super useful. There's a little section at the bottom I need to go through, so we're going to take the sludge. If we gain a speed power-up, then we have the Insta-Jack ability, where if I hit an enemy, it's just one hit to fully complete their cage. Getting back on the roller here, getting another flight off this cutscene. Getting a little bit of height off that save point, and we should be good. I do need to worry here about killing the Titan by going off the top of the screen. It's not that likely as long as I play safely. However, every room in the game does have a ceiling, which I need to look out for. I also need to make sure to not stash my Titan. A lot of the time I will stash my Titan to instantly fall when it was in flight. However, if I stash my Titan as I die, then the camera can get stuck, and that's the only disadvantage of playing in this death cam state. So I just need to be really careful whilst playing through a lot of these sections. We're now in Mount Grimley. Lost flight here, but there's a cutscene right here so we can get through it. Stun that battler with a spin, and then we can just climb off this wall and just escape this arena real quick. And once we finally get over, you can see just how tall these invisible walls can be at times. Mount Grimley is like the final section of the game where everything just kind of comes together in the run. However, there's a lot of revisits we still need to do. But this is the final new section that you guys will see. So this area up here is meant to be the backtrack, like how you quickly return back to the entrance of Grimly. However, we can use flight to quickly get up there, which is really nice. So here, I'm going to gain a little bit of height on this, boost to the left, boost down left, and that should take us right to where we need to be. This is the exit from the octopus fight. Going to use player 2 to boost through here. Get back to player 1, and there's the octopus. So welcome to Bagpipes, the villain. He is a mixture of bagpipes and octopus. Take with that what you will. But we're just gonna kill him as quickly as possible. We're in the player 2 zombie state, and player 2 cannot take damage whilst in the zombie state, which makes every fight in this game a joke. Which is one of the reasons why we play on Bonkers difficulty. Bonkers is the hardest difficulty, and it's also the fastest, just because it's not like, you know, Crash moves faster or anything, or the fights are faster. The game just flat out runs faster on Bonkers. So here we're getting double hits on both of those, because that laser takes forever to charge. So I would say, if you've not seen this game before, the cutscenes are absolutely fantastic. I would recommend checking them out. They're all done in different art styles. This hub's art style is South Park, and they take a lot of the comedy from the shows which they're basing them off as well. There's some old-timey cartoons and some puppet styles. It's really good. Here we're going to activate a fight with two battlers. I only care about one of them, and that one is whichever one I can kill quicker. I got player 2 in case something goes wrong. There we go. Don't need a battler here, but it is a lot safer for a strat that I'm going to be doing up next. So, battler is normal, roller has flight. It's great to have this combination of the two. It allows me to go through this really quickly. And really safely as well. So I'm going to bring player 2 down here, because player 2 can't activate triggers on their own. I'm going to use them to manipulate the camera a bit, just so I can see where I'm going a little better. So I'm going to bring them over to where I need to go, just so I can keep an eye on them. Oh, that should be where I need. Yes, okay, that's fine. Onto the wasteland. So there is a huge fight down there that takes a while. I am going to purposely activate it later. I just want to activate it later, not now. Because I want to get flight so I can do that same backtrack that you guys just saw me do before, to get back to the octopus area. Otherwise, I would have to do the whole backtrack back to the octopus casually, which, although isn't too long, is a lot longer than doing that fight and doing that. So here is what used to be one of the hardest gates in the game. We found out that you can use a battler to clip through it though. Normally, you would, on your first visit to the desert, you would unlock a whole bunch of gates, that being one of them. However, because we never started the mission to obtain the keys for the gates, all the gates are locked. And that's actually going to be really prominent in the next area when I get to it. So this is the Uko Bone quest. Uka's sending us to collect his 3 bones, which are scattered across Wampa, Ratsicle, and the desert. We're picking up the desert first, just because we need the bat just for that one thing, and then we can abandon the bat. And at the end of each of these bone quests is a hero fight. This is actually the hardest fight in the game, but of course we trivialize it by playing as player 2 for zombie. Doing counterattacks when I can, getting some chicken shots in. Doesn't matter if they block, we're fine. Just gotta wait for this cutscene now. Okay, that's the first one done. I am going to save the game after this because this is a very scary part. Although that gate was extremely safe to go towards, this gate will crash the game if I go within its hitbox. So I need to activate the loading trigger behind it first. And then, well, sorry, I need to dodge the hitbox of the gate, but hit the loading trigger of the gate. Which I do have a lot of room to work with. I can't get this consistently, but if it does go wrong, the entire console will crash, not just the game. Which means it'll be like 2 minutes to reboot it, but hopefully I haven't gotten it wrong in a while. Let's hope I haven't jinxed it. I just need to come back up here to get some flight. Fantastic. Got to take this forward. I've saved the game just in case. Okay, and you can see the gate is a little over to the left. There's a gate in front of us there that will also crash the game if we come near it. So unfortunately we can't use the battlers to save us from this one. There we go. Perfect.
All right, Crash. We're inside.
So that was the scariest part of the run there. That's now safely done and out of the way. Gotta get through this section. Can be a little tough. There's some ice climbing bits, but we're gonna skip basically all of it, assuming I get the positioning correctly. Although it's a little hard to tell because it's gonna be a lot of out of bounds movement, and I don't have many visual cues to work with. So there's going to be a whole ice climbing section here, and I'm using Crash's shadow to kind of tell where I am. I think that's where I need to be. There we go. Okay, that's fine. It's a little hard to tell just because of where the collision is out of bounds there. So we're going to use the roller. Normally we'd use those Grimleys to stop time, or slow time rather, to be able to complete that kind of puzzle platformy section. However, we can use the roller just to roll alongside it, which is quite nice. Got a little too much height there, didn't want to hit the ceiling. And this is going to be one of the cheesiest fights in the game, where you've seen the glove power-up before, but player 2, in mask mode, can also pick up the glove power-up, and we can just fire chickens, and this is a perfectly legitimate way to do this fight, which is very funny. Like, this isn't any glitches, this isn't anything special. This is an actual way intended which you can do this fight. And there's our second bone, very nice. Now we just have one of Uka's bones remaining. And that's back in Womba Island. So Womba Island is nice and easy, just some basic platforming around this section, which is technically the first room in the game that you get to see outside of like the area with Crash's house. So you were meant to see this, and you were meant to see that there was nothing over here before. This platforms are newly spawned because of the Bone Quest. That's a lot to do with what I was mentioning before about story triggers. Those platforms are not there until you start the Bone Quest. And you need to talk to Uka to unlock the loading zone for the final area of the game. So here, I want to get a bit of height. I lost a bit of height there. I want to make sure this roller doesn't die, because we need the roller for the end of the run. Otherwise I need to do super casual strats. There we go, made it. Taking advantage of the fact that we have full control during cutscenes there. And once again, there's another glove. Another instance we can use chickens here. And I stay safely on this side. Should be 2 spikes spawning here. Oh, that's a really late spawn, unfortunately. Show you guys a big shot. There we go. Big shot got him. Okay, that's the Bone Quest complete. Now we just need to backtrack to Uka Uka. We're going to do that by completing that fight that we skipped previously to gain flight off the finishing cutscene of it. Then return to Wampa and finish off the game. This is going to be a pretty long fight, so if there's anything you'd like to say, this is probably going to be the last chance for the run, so...
I would love to read some donations. I have a $10 donation here from Rico, who says, "Stare into the dancing lights. Stare and dream. Stare and dream." And I have another $10 donation here from Nanase, I hope I said your name right, saying, "Getting awfully close to that 30K right now. How about we all pitch in a few $5 to finish that particular milestone?" I agree, we are getting close. $5 donation train.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and guys, make sure you donate as well. It's a great cause, and this is a fantastic event ESA's been putting on for us. But here, getting flying of that cutscene, that was a really good Sench fight. I've been working my Sench fight recently, and I'm really proud of how that went. So here, doing the exact same things we did last time, except now there's going to be octopus in the way, which we need to watch out for. Out to the left, out to the bottom left. Oh, that was a little too far, a little too more bottom than left. But we're fine, we got there. Just gonna go talk to Uka Uka now. Using the flight to get a little bit of height off that ramp.
Uka Uka somehow used his power to
Now we just need to wait for this to spawn.
Let's go to Wumpa
We
Crash.
can actually use the teleporter during the cutscene because we have controls. However, that means we don't get the cutscene whilst entering this area, and we need the flight off the cutscene in this area. So doing that, because we never actually did the start of the game, there's a huge hitbox, like invisible walls around the space head. So I need to have an accurate jump in there. Just need to get some height again to be able to get back in there. Get some height off something. There we go. That should be enough. Been a while since I've missed the space head. But there we go. We're back in. This is another area transition, so we're losing flight here. That's a-okay, because that's actually pretty helpful. Gonna use it just to skip that puzzle up here. And believe it or not, this cutscene is an in-engine cutscene, which means we can get flight off it, which is super useful. Switch hidden behind this TNT to open the door. And if we've done everything correctly, all we need to do is come up here, launch Coco through the ceiling. Ooh, and make sure we don't get hit by the projectiles at the same time. There we go. Cool, now we're playing as player 2. We've skipped the first room of this section and the hardest room of this section. Getting some flight up here. We can just go back through this door. That's all that's required for the section, is to re-enter the door. However, that's supposed to be like a huge, like, long part. We're just gonna take some damage, respawn. Give us some time. And in player 2, I'm gonna use the flight, get up here. One crash up there. Fantastic. Now we're back as player 1, which is exactly where I want to be. And starting the final boss. The final boss does take a little bit, so it runs not quite over yet, but we are getting there. Hit this, gives us some evil Wumpa, that will reduce, regain our energy. It's super useful because this guy's one is time stop. Ooh, unfortunately we hit a few times by some stray bullets there. Not quite gonna get a Cortex 1 cycle, unfortunately, because of those stray bullets, but we're gonna get a real easy 2 cycle. Ooh. A little hard to do this with 2 controllers at the same time, as you can imagine. Okay, so that's phase 1 done. Phase 2 is an actual fight against Cortex. I need to get player 2 and player 1 over in the same bit of the camera.
Okay.
Once again, doing another zombie state here. Player 2 is invincible, so there's nothing to worry about.
Beautiful. Victorious. I won. Quick, somebody take a screenshot. 5 Finally, I've got you where I want you, Crash.
Pressing the wrong buttons on the wrong controllers there, but that's okay. Back on the Cortex, this is the final section here. We've got about, I think it's like 5 waves of enemies to take out. We can use the spin to insta-kill any of the Titans. Gonna use the jump to clear out the small ones, and hopefully get some Evo Wumpa to quickly regain our energy meter. Yeah, there was a battler spawn there. It's fine. Come back over here to get the spawn. Oh, there's another enemy spawned there. Should see... Come on. There we go. Got some stench spawns now. Take these guys out. Ooh, missed the spin on that one. We can just kill him though. Yeah, unfortunately a little low energy there. Didn't do quite what I was all wanting to do, but pretty much getting there. Spin, get rid of these last stenches. Need some Evo Wumpa. Ooh, there was one last one I missed. Right, time's gonna be coming up very soon here. Spin up this platform. And time's gonna be when I land on this button. Oh, wrong way, Cortex. And... time.
GG's.
Thank you. So just some last thoughts. Shoutouts to Ubercaddy, shoutouts to Pete, shoutouts to Surshanju. Those are the guys who've been pushing this game super hard recently, and really been giving me a reason to like really try my hand at this game and see how far I could push it myself. It's been a lot of fun running this game recently. I'm going to continue running this game for a while still. I want to improve my time, especially since we found the new death cam glitch. Thank you all for watching, and thanks for putting up with the delays for getting this run started this morning. But I hope you guys had fun, and... Ooh, what was my time?
Brace yourself, Crash. I think we're going down.
35:56. Heck yeah, so that's a PB. Very nice.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice.
there's a lot further I can push that. So thank you all for tuning in,
Disgusting freak.
and
PBs.
enjoy the rest of ESA.
Thank you so much to CDRomatron for that lovely, lovely run of Crash Mind Over Mutant. Coming up on deck, we have RDV versus the World with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and that is the end of my time hosting with you right now. But do not worry, I am leaving you in the extremely capable hands of...
I know.
Oh my gosh, it's Dim78.